Hi friends, welcome to the kitchen. Today, why don't we try to make some vegan mock meat? I've made a video about vegan protein consumption and I have done my research on how much protein you actually need. And then I figured I might be under consuming it from day to day. So I was looking for high protein vegan ingredients. And apart from a lot of those, you can also see textured vegetable protein or TVP or textured soy protein, which is also dehydrated soy and it has a lot of different names. It also comes under a name of vegetarian or vegan meat, at least in the post-Soviet Union space in Russia. So this is what we are going to do today. We are going to try to cook some veggie patties using the TVP or the soy meat, some beans, a little bit of spices, a little bit of thyme, a pressure cooker, some foil, and parchment paper. This is my second attempt of trying to cook it. The first time, I think the ingredients were really nice, but at the same time, I did bake it instead of doing the pressure cooking maneuver. And then I posted a question on Reddit and almost no one replied, but someone told me that I should better be using foil on top of the patties so they remain softer on the inside and the outside also remains quite soft. And this did work. As for the ingredients, we start with the most interesting one. This is textured vegetable protein, around 1 cup dry. It does have a distinct smell, so we will need to boil it for around 10 to 15 minutes. Depending on how smelly it is, you would like to boil it in more or less water. We will also need some beans. I'm using red kidney beans. This is around 1 can here, or 250 grams of red kidney beans. Black kidney beans are also going to work great. Then a very important aspect of it is a gluten flour. So this recipe is definitely not gluten friendly. Gluten flour is quite an important ingredient in here. First of all, it's of course wheat protein, so it allows binding between different ingredients. Once it starts developing, the mixture starts being very moldable, and we will need some spices. We will get around 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. This is going to be our source of vitamin B12 as well, and a little bit of flavor. Then we are going to use around 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and maple syrup also goes in there, around 1 tablespoon for the flavor and for the sweetness. A little bit of sweetness never hurts. Soy sauce is going to be salty, of course, and together with the sweet maple syrup, they're forming this really nice combination which helps the flavors unfold. You can be quite creative with spices. Half a teaspoon of cumin, that's what I'm using here. And then I'm just going in with the spices that I really like. Around 1/4 of a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then a little bit more ground chili powder or hot paprika, a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder. Some oregano also will not hurt. You can also try playing around with some vegetable seasoning, as well as a black pepper. I would imagine sumac would also look really nice in there, but I just took a more moderate approach. And this is my personal preference here, but I am adding some meat or beef flavoring inside. Beef flavoring is actually vegan. This was very surprising for me, and I thought this was a treasure that I found, but actually this seems to be quite a well-known fact, and these beef cubes are quite widespread as well. Tomato paste is here for a little bit of acidity, of course, as well as for the taste, and color is going to make our patties a little bit pinky in color, which of course corresponds to the color of meat. For the color, you might want to add some beetroot juice. It's going to give, of course, beetroot red color to the overall mixture. However, I'm not doing that, and you may also want to add a little bit of water, which I found to be a bad idea previously. I'm just sticking to the water that's been held inside the TVP or the soy protein. Definitely do not overdo water. Water is going to make your patties very soggy, and they're going to be quite complicated, quite hard to cook. Just keep water for the very end of the process, and if you feel like the patties are not moist enough, you can add a little bit of water. So then we just put everything into the blender, including the gluten powder. And we blend everything, high-speed blender preferably. It should create a nice uniform paste. If you're interested in a chunkier structure of your patties, just keep some TBP aside and then add it in the end of the process so the chunks are not as uniformly blended. And after everything comes together, the only thing that's left for us is wait for around 3 to 5 minutes for the gluten to develop. When you actually wait for 3 to 5 minutes, you will start seeing the threads when you try to pull the patty mixture apart, and it looks pretty much like beef. So while the gluten develops, it's really handy to have some foil and parchment paper at hand when we will start making patties. So I'm just preparing the same amount of parchment paper and foil. And what we are going to do, we are going to wrap our patties inside this parchment paper and foil. Why are we going to do this? We want to keep the outside of the patties quite soft. This is why I'm using an Instant Pot here to cook it all under pressure for around 1.5 hours. The previous time that I was cooking it, I was trying to make everything in the oven and the outside was getting rock solid. But to be fair, I wasn't using gluten flour, I was trying to use tapioca flour. It was looking like meat at first, but the final texture was nowhere like real patties. So please do wrap them in a foil. If you're using the oven, please let me know how it goes because I'm really curious to find out. That's it. That's the whole process. Now we just need to stack the patties together and wait for 1.5 hours for them to get ready under pressure. And we are done. You have your patties. They do smell really distinctively like meat, and I'm so proud of them. It's not like Beyond Burger, it's not like Impossible Meat for sure, but the smell of it and the texture and the look of it really does remind me of the corned beef. And you can store the patties in the fridge for around 4 days. I would say up to 5 days, and you're all set for the week. So thank you so much guys for joining me today. I really hope you liked the video. I really hope you like the idea of making your own fake meat. Please let me know if you had any experiences like that. I'm very curious to know. I was really curious to try to cook with a TVP, and I'm going to try trying other recipes cooking with it. It's really nice in absorbing the flavor because it's when you rehydrate it, it gets really squishy. So it does absorb a lot of water and a lot of flavor that was in the water. So if you like this video, please give it a like. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. This is a small channel, but I hope it will be growing in the nearest future. So thank you again for joining, and I wish you an amazing day. Remember to eat some greens today, be healthy, be well, and I see you very soon. Bye.